Hi guys, I'm Chris. Welcome to this week's tutorial. Let's draw together. In this week's tutorial, we'll be drawing a cute fluffy bee in Procreate, and I'm sure you can create this too if you follow along with the video all the way to the end. If you feel rushed, be sure to hit pause or just rewind to catch up and save this video to your library so you can rewatch if you need extra practice. So today we'll be using all 3 brushes found in Procreate. And don't forget, once you finish this entire video, share it on Instagram and tag me in the image as well as the description so I can find your artwork and feature you here in the next Draw Together video. So if you're wondering about my Band-Aid, I actually had a little run-in with a cheese grater and it won, so that's what happened there, but it's all on the mend, no worries. So for this video, I've made you a free color palette, and in case you'd like to use the exact same colors I'll be using in the tutorial, you can just tap on the link in the description below and you can download it and install it there. Also in the description you'll find a link to a goodie bag where you can grab some free goodies and support me by visiting my shop and of course by giving a thumbs up here on this video. So let's dive in and grab your pencil and we'll set up the canvas as always. It's going to be 4000 by 4000 pixels, 300 DPI and sRGB. So I'm just going to start by grabbing my 6B pencil and I'm just going to use a black color. This will just be our sketch layer. And I am going to bump it up before you because I realized a few times ago you couldn't really see the line very well back in the video. So my apologies on that. So hopefully we can see this a bit better. I'm going to bump it up to like 90%. Okay, so you can see that a little bit more. So of course 100% opacity. And because this is a relatively symmetrical bee, I'm going to use the drawing assist today and just for our sketch layer. So afterwards I'm going to turn it off and go over with our good copy to make it look much more hand done. But just so we kind of have a guide to go on, I'm going to use the assisted drawing. So I'm just going to pop into the little wrench here, tap on that. Go to Canvas and switch on this drawing guide. And I'm going to go to Edit Drawing Guide because I can see my kids have been in here playing and it's not on my regular settings. So I'm going to go to Symmetry and click on the options, and it is going to be a vertical on that, and that's actually all fine. So what's going to happen, I'm going to click Done. So what's going to happen here is whatever I draw on this side, it's going to draw on that side, and that's exactly what we want. So just clear that, and you'll also note here that your layer will say Assisted, and you can click that on and off, but right now we want it on for sure. Okay, so first of all, we're going to just do a basic overall shape just to sort of constrain what we're doing inside of this little shape here. It might help us. I'm going to make the bee about this long, and I'm just going to kind of bring sort of a rounded, well, kind of an ovally shape. Oops, let's just kind of do that again. I want him sort of like that. I actually want him a little bit chubbier because I want him to be a little bit more on the fluffier side. So we'll start with that. And then I'm going to just sort of mark out where the head's going to be. Of course, bees are in 3 sections. They've got the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So we want to make sure that you can tell where those are. And so he's going to have just a little, or actually this might be a she, it might be ending up being the queen bee. We never know. But they have this little head here. So that's going to be the shape of the head. And the eyes will go here. Actually, I won't make them quite so buggy, but the eyes will go in here. And then we're gonna do the thorax, and it's going to be, because I'm gonna do this more of a bumblebee, it's gonna be a little bit bigger here. And that's gonna come in this section here. Hopefully you can see that. All right, and then this guy, the body, or the abdomen rather, is going to come and be in there. So I don't want him too pointy for this because again, like I said, he's more of a bumblebee. Oops, going too far outside. Okay, so that's good. I'm just going to erase this bit so I can see. Okay. So this part actually is going to come up more like that because it's all going to be all fuzzies. So So that's that part. So basically the wingspan is going to be the length of the body, so you can kind of go approximately with your pen here and do from the middle to about here. Oh, we barely have enough space. Let's just make sure we've got that there. So you can mark it there. And the wings are going to come from the middle of the thorax roughly. And you can just sort of, because you want them to have some thickness here, so it's going to be about like that. And then they're just going to come up and out. Maybe that's a little bit high, maybe more like that. And this guy's going to come in like that. That's that part. Kind of like that maybe. And then there's the second part. Maybe we'll make this a little bit more like that. It kind of comes over like that. Okay. So there you have the wings. And then he's got some antennae here. Antennae. Sorry. So they'll come out here, and maybe we'll make them like that. And then there are 3 sets of legs. So the front ones will come here, and they have joints. They kind of, I'm just gonna mark it like this for now. So 1, 2, and then, oops, 1, 2, and then 3. So if you can see that, 1, 2, and then just a little guy there, 3. And then the other 2 are gonna come from about the sort of where the, it's hard to tell, I've looked at a lot of pictures, so exactly where these legs come from, but it's roughly around the middle where the abdomen meets the thorax. So we're gonna do, again, we're gonna have this joint here, here, and then they have these little funny creepy feet thingies. We'll put those there. And then the last ones are here, and again, creepy little feet things. Okay, I'm just gonna erase this. So these come in sort of these little almost triangular like sections here to make the form. So go up to the dots where you've kind of indicated where the joints are and do the fattest part of the triangle shape there. And then these things, I don't know what they are, but they're kind of like, you can do like little triangles maybe. That would be best to indicate these little feet. So we're going to do a triangle, 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 and then these little sort of thingies there. Triangle, another one, and these are gonna have just these little doop doop doop. Okay, so we have our basic shape in here, so let's go and add some more details to the wings, because I think the wings are really pretty because they're translucent and have some patterns on them. So let's add that. All right, so I mean, this can be up to your interpretation. There's no exact perfect one way to do this, but so use your imagination. But they can kind of be, I don't know, that kind of web-like almost, sort of like our butterfly a little bit. I don't know, maybe I don't like that one. Go up like that. Okay, and I think these lines are going to be a little bit thicker here. And these guys in here too. Okay, so now the pattern of the bee. This part, you know what, I'm thinking the head is just a little bit too big for me, so I'm actually gonna go use my little squiggly line here, click on that, select this portion, and click the arrow and just move it in a little bit. I just want it a little bit more cutesy tucked in there. Okay, that's better. And so I'm just gonna indicate where our stripes are gonna go, so when we start painting, we know what we're doing. I'm gonna kind of do this, and this part is all going to be fur, and it's gonna kind of come down in more like that. And then I'm gonna have some fur in here, kind of like that shape. That. All right, actually that should come up a little bit more like that. Okay, so that's a pretty good start for our sketch, so we know what we're doing. And next we're gonna go in and color it, so let's get to that. Okay, so let's just go and grab a new layer, put that on top, and I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna start with this light yellow color, and I'm gonna go and find a paintbrush, and I'm gonna use this, oh goodness, Salamanca. I don't know if that's how you say it. Anyways, it is a Procreate brush in here, so if you know how to say it, let me know. Salamanca. Funny names. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and, actually I'm gonna turn this layer down, turn the opacity all the way down to, I don't know, let's go to 12%. Make sure I'm on that top layer, and I'm just gonna start painting it in. So let's see, I'm gonna make this a little smaller. Okay, I'm gonna go at about 7%, 100% opacity, and just start coloring in. And again, this layer is not assisted, so you can see it's not gonna duplicate it on either side. So that's okay. So I'm just gonna start filling it in where I want the yellow to be. And this brush, you'll notice when you go over, or I'll show you one sec. When you go over it again, it'll make it like another layer, so it won't be a consistent, it kind of builds up opacity. So just note that it gives us a nice little painted look. Okay, and then this part's gonna be yellow. And right now, you'll notice I'm not being super picky. It's because I'm going to show you how to make this look furry. So it doesn't have to be super neat right now. Oops, I messed that up a little bit. All right, let's try that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in and grab that, well, it's actually a charcoal color. And I'm gonna do it on the same layer. I know I often don't do that, but this time I will, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So I'm just gonna color in his head. Okay, so just make sure the colors do touch each other. They can even overlap, it's not a problem, but just you want them to be close. And I'm not lifting up my pen at all for this. I'm just keeping it down pressure the whole time. Okay, looks lovely, doesn't it? So using the same brush, I'm going to go and do the legs. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit to 4% the size there, just so I can do these smaller details. And I'm just going to color it in. Just going to leave the ends for later. Okay, so let's just get the little antennae in there. So I'm going to go to inking and grab my dry ink brush and just get these little guys in here. Okay. I think I'm going to do the little feet. I'm just making these really jaggedy because these are kind of these furry, spiky things. Kind of like that. Okay, good stuff. So let's just turn off our background layer just so we have a look to see where we're at. Okay, that's good. Actually, I'm going to leave that off for a little bit because I'm going to work on the fur right now. So because we don't need this, the drawing assistant anymore, we can go back to the wrench and go and turn off the drawing guide. That'll take that line out. It's kind of annoying me. All right, so we are on this layer here, on our painting layer, and I'm going to go to the smudge tool. And I'm going to go to the touch-ups and grab the short hair. And using that, I'm going to make these little, hold on, I'm going to do the opacity all the way up, and I'm going to bring the brush size down to about 40. And hopefully you can see this. Just start pushing, and that will make it nice and fuzzy. So as you can see, this does look a little dull at the moment, but we're going to build it up. So we'll just start with this layer. And always, if you go too far, you can always push the other color that way too, right? So just be aware of that. Okay, looks suitably fuzzy. Just want to make sure all those edges look good. Okay, so he's got little hairs on his legs as well, so I'm going to bump this down to, what am I going to do, 15%? See if that works. And just on the one side I'm going to looks a little smudgy right now, but we will sharpen it up. Okay. Actually gonna go see if this works. I'm gonna put a layer below and still using that same black color. I'm gonna go to inking and grab the dry brush and just see if I can get some more subtle eyes here. It's still in the layer below. Wow, it's still really dark. Little eyes here. Let's just see if turning the opacity down. Well, let's leave them there for now. Not sure I'm loving that, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. Now let's continue to work on this fur, and I'm just gonna go on top of this layer and add another one. And I'm gonna go back to, where am I? Back to my touch-ups, and still with that short hair, I'm going to use the full color, and I'm going to have it at about 80% and about 25. And just go over and add some darker fur here and there, just layering it. I'm going to bring this brush up to about 50, just to have some variation. And kind of go over the whole thing. It'll just fill in some spots and make it look a little more regular. Okay. So he's starting to look rather fluffy. Lovely. Okay, bringing it back down to 20. Just doing the face here. I think the eyes will look better once we just get some darker stuff over it. I just want them to blend in a little bit more than they were. very repetitive. Okay, again, moving this up to about 50, just kind of going over to break up any funny lines and stuff. Okay, now I'm going to go and take the darker orange, same brush, back down, maybe let's make it 25 this time, and go and do some more of this. Okay, then back up to 50 and just go over to smooth out. Okay, looks a little fluffy. Can you see that? All right. So now I'm going to go and add a little bit of highlights to this, and so I'm going to do that on another layer. So I'm just going to go on top just in case I screw it up. So I'm actually going to take the yellow and just bring it lighter, and I'll put that there for you too. So I'll use this lighter yellow, and I'm going to go and grab my inking brush, so the dry ink brush found in inking, and I'm going to have it at about 7%, I think, yeah. And all I'm going to do is just kind of go in just really lightly, just some little details, little lights, just to bring out some more definition and highlights. just gonna stay on one side of it, not doing the whole thing, just having a little light here. Kind of like that when it breaks over into the other color too. Adding. Sometimes it's just good to step back from your drawing and just have a look to see what it needs. All right, that's looking better. Okay, and then I'm gonna go and grab the charcoal, and I'm gonna just make it a lighter, and I'll add that for you as well. Let's see if that's light enough. Yeah, I think so. So with this same brush, same thing, just adding in some highlights to the charcoal area. Once all the highlights are done, I'm going to go back into my layers, select the layer 4 probably, it's all the fuzzy layer, and I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to click on the N and turn it to multiply, and that's just going to bump that up a little bit, and we can merge that together. And then I'm going to go duplicate layer number 2 and leave it on normal, so that's just going to really make everything pop a little bit more. So now let's get to the wings. So we can turn back on our sketch layer, and we can go and above layer 5 get another layer, so push the plus sign and start doing our wings. So I'm going to use the yellow color. I'm going to actually just start with this medium, well now it's our medium color. I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to go and grab my gouache paintbrush. So I'm going to go into painting, select gouache, and just get these, fill in these wings here. So I'm going to just keep my paintbrush down the entire time and just go around and fill it in. Like so. Okay. And I am going to overlap the fur a little bit, and we will touch that up later. Okay. So I'm actually going to go and turn that opacity down because we want them to be a little bit transparent. And then I'm going to add another layer on top. This layer will leave a full opacity. So I'm going to grab the darker orange and back to inking and dry ink. And you know what we have it at is fine. I think we're going to leave it at about 7%. And then we're going to just do these lines. We'll trace them on. did connect there. Okay, so we can turn off that sketch later. We won't need that anymore. Okay, so I'm just gonna, right now it looks a little bit sharper than the rest of the body. So I kind of want to just ease those lines a little bit. So I'm going to go into my smudger and I'm gonna go into charcoals and grab willow charcoal. And I'm just gonna make, I'm gonna see what size this is, like 2%. I'm actually gonna make these lines a little softer because they're a little bit crisp and they don't really match the rest of the bee at the moment. So I'm just gonna go in and just make them a little, just on the inside of the edges, and just sort of just smudge these in and just give it a little irregularity. See how that does that? It looks kind of good there, and just smudge that out a bit. Just gives it a more hand done kind of look, I think. Not quite, I don't want it to be too digital looking. So yeah, just sort of messing them up a little bit. There, so you can see the difference of that one versus that one. Looks a bit better, I think. So just go do the other side. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, so then I'm gonna go and put a layer on top of that layer, and we'll grab the dark charcoal color and grab my, oh, I'm still on dry ink, that's good. And just sort of blend these guys in a little bit. So they're kind of incorporated in. Better. Okay, so while we're here, let's just go and grab these legs and just give them some more definition with some little hairs here. Okay, so now we can go and grab the medium yellow and maybe we'll just give him a few little highlights and bits on here. Just kind of around where the joints are. Something like that. Okay, maybe we'll just a little on the antenna. I was about to say antlers. That's weird. There we go. And let's see, grab some white. And maybe we'll, what should we do? Maybe we'll stick with the gouache at 7. No, too much. Let's say 3. Maybe we'll just throw in a few highlights here. We can use the same, maybe bring it down to 2 and just give it a little highlight. It's a little like easier. Just in a few spots. Okay, I think that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified of new tutorials just like this one in the future. I post one every single Tuesday, and I hope to see you back here. So love you guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.